will set up a rape machine.
Hello, my name is Animations, but you can call me Yui. And in this video, we will board heavy topics such as those listed on the screen. Please take your time and read through them carefully. Today, I will be talking about the most disgusting YouTuber, disguised as a good Samaritan. I will board how he made misleading thumbnails, jokes about sexual assault, jokes about rape, racist remarks, doxing, anti-Semitism, harmful jokes about other religions, and making light of the very same serious assault allegations and deaths as nothing but revenue and attention, and much, much more. Each step will be separated by 6 parts, each with their times and names on the screen. Feel free to check and skip any. A small disclaimer, do not harass anyone mentioned here. And tweets and names will be censored for privacy. So if you want your stuff deleted, please send me a friend request at Discord at UI_animations so we can discuss this. This is my first video like this and hopefully the last. As you may notice, English is not my native language, so many things will come off as confusing, and so this is why I'll be using some subtitles so you can understand me better. I will be using Jasper from Steven Universe to make this video not feel so heavy for you, the watcher, although the topics on here are: leave any info at the comments of what I got wrong or right, and please listen to what I say with a grain of salt and take your own conclusions. The Roblox drama machine. We've reached the point where Roblox news isn't about news anymore. It's about how much juice you can squeeze from a single drama. The Roblox newsfeed is flooded with drama channels that pump out videos daily, treating minor information like the end of the world and big deals like nothing. But what happens when the hunger for views crosses the line from annoying clickbait and spam into active harm and misinformation? Today, I will talk about the disgusting thing Gwamgo truly is. On the surface, his channel looks like another content creator farm. Recycled topics, misleading thumbnails, dramatic titles. But when you look past his edgy thumbnails and the rushed uploads, you just don't find the lazy journalism. You find a platform built on exploited workers, unchecked bigotry, and a total disregard for basic human decency. Hungry from strays, hungry for lives. There is a line between reporting community safety and exploiting a victim for a high click-through rate. In his coverage of the Roblox game Doomed by Fate, Gwamgo took a deeply serious topic, allegations of death by epilepsy, and slapped it onto a bright, sensationalized thumbnail. This isn't attracting views nor bringing awareness. It is a complex lack of empathy and pure greed. But what if the excuse of he didn't make the thumbnail, his editor did, shows up? Well, let's be clear. If his name is on the channel, he is the owner. He talks there. He should know what he himself or what his editor is doing. Claiming ignorance is a confession that you don't care enough about the trauma you are reporting on to even look at the cover of your own video before hitting upload. And this shows that you do not care about the victim nor your viewers. Mind you, this was uploaded when we didn't know the death was fabricated. So everyone was sympathizing with the victim and the friend. He made a now deleted video taking everything as fact and blaming the developers, in which, yes, they should have added the epilepsy warning, but it's out of the question. He also later on blames people for rushing informations when he did it too, and admitted to it. This is the ultimate irony of his channel. He covers horrific, dark topics to get clicks, but aggressively censor the actual words in his video to probably bypass YouTube's AdSense filters. If a topic so serious that you have to bleed out half of your script just to keep the green monetization icon, you aren't fit to be a reporter. What you are, though, you are a salesman using tragedy as a storefront in your scummy tactics. You are no better than the people you cover. Crime wave journalism. When you upload every week, makes community posts, and YouTube shorts, you don't have time for the truth. You only have time for one narrative. We saw the danger of this, that I like to call crime wave journalism, during the Doom by Fate situation. Instead of taking a step back and investigating, Gwamgo presented a completely one-sided narrative as gospel truth. He didn't wait for evidence. In fact, he didn't show any. It wasn't until a much larger creator like Creekcraft stepped in to look at the nuisance on the actual story. It was only until that came out and the backlash on Twitter that made him think twice and erase the video. Not out of respect for the viewers, but to protect himself and his channel reputation from further backlash. This happens oftenly and proves a dangerous reality about Gwamgo's platform. He isn't interested in covering the truth. How many times you've seen his video with the word edited on his thumbnail with a half-assed comment correcting himself for his stupid errors. He is interested in being the first person to scream to the people. Theater Kid vibes. If you know, you know. He acts as the judge, the jury, and the executioner for the Roblox drama community. But sometimes he refuses to do the bare minimum research to hold that kind of power. Instruct with dishonesty. But to truly understand the problem, we have to look behind the scenes. Because while the videos are the product, the community Gwamgo has built around him will be called the product. And if the factory is toxic, the product may be too. Gwamgo loves to play the moral authority on other people's downfalls. Yet, his own digital footprint is a parade of hypocrisy. This is a creator who has made racist remarks, joked about doxxing, antisemitism, harmful jokes about other religions, made light of the very same serious assault allegations and deaths that he clickbaits for revenue. Not sure if he has referred himself and his deeply offensive anti-Semitic labels under the guise of edgy humor, while simultaneously defending his empire by underpaying the very editors who make his upload schedule even possible. I could not gather any information on that, so I cannot say anything. But the rot goes from his members all the way down to his moderation team. Gwamgo will joyfully dedicate a 10-minute video exposing a toxic, scummy Roblox player. Yet him and his own high-ranking staff are allowed to use slurs like "tard" with zero accountability. Or if he has more slurs. But the fact that this is even allowed is questionable at best. A small update, I managed to get a friend to search for me, and he found those absurd numbers right here. Slurs and possibly offensive usernames. You cannot claim to be the voice of the community the news, the drama, while fostering an environment of bigotry in your own backyard. You cannot pretend to care about victims in a YouTube script while treating their trauma as a punchline in Discord voice chat, or make you and your mod team ignore them, nor the deaths of countless victims of Epstein and Hitler, and freely speak it around like another awful punchline. The amount of people that get assaulted for you to use on a public voice call and act like nothing is sickening. I am going to break away from the script just for a moment to talk to you as Yui, uh, a person, and not as the YouTuber Yui Animations. For nearly 10 years, I've lived through aggression and trauma within my own family. I still do, but not as much as before. I have survived being inappropriately touched by a family member and a best friend of almost 8 years. Those acts made me do horrible things to myself that I will always carry and remember within me. These aren't just heavy topics or drama for me, they are my life. They affected how I look at my body, how I hear my own voice, how I see my face, how others see me. It affected how I socialize, how I walk, how I talk, how I dress, how I eat, how I look at others, how they look at me, how I love, how I feel. And I will always carry the feeling that I will never be pure again. This is why I am fiercely against media that glorifies or fetishizes assault. I can appreciate a character like Yiyo Won Young from Low Tide in the Twilight, but I will be the first one to tell you that the story handles trauma and assault poorly. Because real or not, rape is not a trope, it's not a fetish, and is certainly not a punchline. To see a YouTuber with funds, influence, and a platform treat those horrors as nothing but revenue makes my heart drop. When Gwamgo does these jokes or censors a word just to keep his ad running, he isn't just edgy. He is spitting on the face of every survival who has to live with the permanent scars of these unpunished crimes. Gwamgo, you have the power, you have the connections to strong people or other YouTubers even, and you choose to make light of the very same thing that breaks people like me. This isn't a mistake, it's a choice. A very disgusting one. I wonder why you chose this. Untrust us. If you want to see the content farm in action, look no further. Peek at how Gwamgo handled the Forsaken situation. I like to call it slop revenue. Low effort, weekly uploads intended to be consumed and forgotten. When the Forsaken news went quiet for 48 hours, Gwamgo panicked. He couldn't go 2 days without his easy money. So he recycled. He spent entire videos re-explaining Soul was a predator, something everyone already knew, and tried to link it with current events where was zero correlation with the actual topic. It wasn't about safety shit, nor informing the public. It was about filling 8 minutes of airtime so the mid-roll ads could kick in. When you're so desperate for views that you start repeating yourself like a broken record, you become a noise machine, A loudy one that doesn't even know how to work properly. But what's more concerning is how Gwamgo handles those who try to hold him accountable for his behavior. When other creators like Smut, whom has also done bad things but he must be used as an example here, or when Sharkblocks tried to speak with him, Gwamgo didn't engage in a conversation. He told his audience to ignore everything Smut said, dismissing valid points without addressing them, and when Sharkblocks entered his Discord server, he didn't get a DM or a professional response. He was simply banned from Gwamgo's server as seen on his Twitter post. This is the behavior of a gatekeeper. He wants to be the first newsman, but refuses to be the subject of it, ignoring fair critics instead of answering them. He ensures his audience never sees the cracks in his behavior. What will it cost? So he will stop calling these mistakes and will start calling them the life of games and diligent trust. It's the things we do and the things we must. If you want to know who Gwamgo really is, just look at how he handles a trigger warning compared to other YouTubers. Let me use Sharkblocks again as an example. On the left, we have Gwamgo's warning. It is filled with asterisks. Why? He's treating the most horrific traumas and crimes imaginable, like their swear words. Why? Maybe because to Gwamgo, these victims aren't people. The traumas are keywords that might get his video demonetized or taken down. He is so focused on ads he can bring himself to type the words properly. I understand that saying them may get your channel flagged, but maybe not writing them. Gwamgo isn't protecting the viewer or his channel from the topic. He's protecting his ad revenue from the platform. He demands you show respect in his text while showing zero respect himself for the case in his sloppy videos. Now let's look at the right. This is Sharkblocks. He uses actual terms, no censoring, no asterisks, nothing. The actual words. He treats the topics with the weight and respect they deserve. He doesn't make those overcomplicated edits, tweets floating like the fucking invincible wobbly edits, and those big ass subtitles that give someone epilepsy for trying to read them, or how fast they disappear. He does not disrespect the victim, the viewer, and does not actively lies to them or silences those who tries to speak up. This may prove that Gwamgo's YouTube is to script posts is kinda a lie. While yes, at the day it was posted, YouTube was very harsh. But nowadays, YouTube is not as harsh as it was before. In fact, they made a new statement that says that people can talk about these topics more freely so people could be more aware of them. YouTube allows these words. AdSense might not pay as much for them, and Gwamgo does this to this day. I'm not cruel, still what you see. When Gwamgo finally addressed the mounting evidence, he didn't give us a transparency explanation. He didn't say anything at all. He claims he's taking accountability for some of his actions. But as soon as the word starts, so does this sad music in the background. This isn't an apology, bro. If you have to manipulate the audio to make your audience feel bad for you, boy oh boy, do I have news for you. He isn't actually sorry for what he did, nor what he said. Nothing. What he is sorry about is that people are finally seeing through the act of Good Samaritan, and now they're understanding that he is as bad as the people he covers. He only made this video because his shit leaked. An apology without change in behavior is just a script. Speaking of those, his scripts are AI generated. Let you know, guys. He said he'd do better, but then he went right back over the top dramatic. Censored drama, clickbait thumbnails, slop revenue cycle over and over. Fork found a kitchen, guys. Well, if you need a violin to tell your audience you're a good person, you probably are one. We all learned that with Mr. Krabs. The only difference that Mr. Krabs is red and you're yellow. Do you have liver failure? Let's break down his video and what he said. Okay, so although I was planning, I will not play the footage of his video in real time. Because he may copyright strike me and silence me, in which he has a history of doing a lot. And if he does, I will just try to fight back and seek bigger help. If anyone would even listen to me, oh well. So please, if you can, open his video and match the timestamps that I will tell among with my reply to them. If you want to hear it, I will say the exact timestamps and screenshots so you should understand just fine if you didn't see it, and I should be fine as well. I don't want to end up like a mental AOP, so I'm done watching this drama machine guide up victims for clicks. It's time to shatter the narrative in his awful response video. Let's get through it.
Spreading some of the most extreme and disgusting I have ever seen, trying to portray me as a or some kind of a. And for some ridiculous reason, people seem to believe that I would genuinely do something horrible like this, despite the source of these claims having a strong history of blatantly lying about me.
0.22. No, the videos aren't lies.
Lying about me. The calls that have been circulating around these past few days were released by my former thumbnail editor after he attempted to me with these exact clips. This is the same individual who made the threats of towards real children and mocked my former editor for
At the second 0.35, yes, they may be a horrible person, but saying that to make yourself look smoother in comparison to them is just not good. You did wrong too, and it should be addressed firstly, then you explain who they are.
spreading these clips are a group of people I like to call Roblox Diddy, Roblox Epstein, and Roblox.
At the second 40, again, the use of worse people to exist as some punchline, I don't get it. I don't get why you would even add them in the first place. It's disrespectful as fuck.
These people have begun platforming these calls, completely stripping the context and making these clips look horrible, and because of this, people for some reason believe this. In this
Stripping the context. Even with the full context, these messages are awful. No amount of context can save you from this. You did wrong, just say it.
In this video, I'm going to break down the entire situation. I'll go through the leaked calls, explain what was actually said, and show if these recordings are being maliciously edited and twisted to push a narrative that is completely disconnected from reality. I will also take accountability for the things I was genuinely in the wrong for, what's happening right now.
At the second 55 to 1 minute and 5, he advertises his Discord server, the toxic shit we already covered, and says like and subscribe. Hey, look, I made fun of rape and sexual assault. Share, like, and subscribe. My name is Gwamgo.
Should not be trusted. Before I show or play any of these recordings, it's important to explain who released them and why.
To 1 minute and 10 to 1 minute and 50, he says, quote unquote, before I show the clips, I will explain who released them and why. So from what I see, he's trying to make a narrative of what he did to seem reasonable or less heavy because it came from someone quote unquote as bad as him. And this is not how it works, dude. It does help push a lot of the narrative. It's just like, oh, see, they're bad. No, forget what I did. But did he also mention to not trust these people since they're not a trusted source? But Gwamgo, you just said he was your thumbnail editor. He is trusted to give information about you, Gwamgo. What the fuck are you on, bro? Small break. So you see, not even a minute out of the 10, and he's making awful statements and feeling excuses up our asses so we can accept this. This man is... dude, he's a lost cause. I don't know what to say to you.
He began when Delta shared this information directly with malicious individuals such as 77, Snunt, Nivalk, and even Soldier in Love.
To 1 minute and 20 to 4:42, he gives useless context about the people we already know and are slightly related but not even worth mentioning. He probably did this so people will fill their head up with information and make his bad act sounds lighter compared to this. Again, you see a pattern here. 'Cause I do.
These recordings and why, we need to talk about the clips themselves because every single one of them was intentionally stripped of context. One of the clips being shared includes me saying, I'm getting by this. What's removed from this clip is the fact that this was said during a horror gameplay session in Repo, referring to an in-game monster, my character. It had absolutely nothing to do with a minor, Delta, or any real person.
To 4:25 to 4:42, no real person was involved, so it's fine, right, guys? Guys, why are you backing me up? No, Gwamgo. Said that I need to explain this to a grown-ass man. No, rape is not a joke. You shouldn't... it shouldn't be used as one. Come on, it's not hard to understand. Use that pretty little brain of yours. It's not up there for decoration.
I don't want to invite him because he wanted a 15-year-old. I didn't want to invite him because I thought he was going to steal like a Jew.
Here's the missing context. This was a joking, exaggerated remark made...
You heard him. What I say?
Children with be invited to play games with me. That said, I do want to be clear about something. The specific wording I used in that joke was uncalled for, and I take accountability for that. I should have chosen better words, but what people are doing right now is stripping this moment of all the context to...
Now, from 5:30 to 5:40, finally, 5 minutes in the video, and he says one of the 55 shits he did. One of 55. And the apology lasted like 10 seconds. We dead ass right now.
Or I say under one condition, Frev, if I find out you're cheating, I will set up and you will be infinitely in this game.
The context that's being ignored here is that, first of all, Frev is an adult and is actually older than me. Clip of Frev testifying to what really happened. Now,
Him here, quote unquote, the context is being ignored. What context? I repeat, what context would have you to say or make a joke like that? It doesn't matter if he's older than you. Rape happens at any age, gender. It doesn't matter, you idiot. Don't you all see he's trying to shift the blame and explain unexplainable things? How? How did this motherfucker go scot-free from his actions? The same actions he prays as gospel, by the way. The irredeemable to others. But to him, he can say it and get the money from it with no backlash. Oh my god, I lose faith on all of you. Roblox drama YouTubers, especially the edgelord there. Oh my god. Disgusting. Disgusting. It is crazy how his editor had more footage and didn't leak, or I did not manage to hear them. But it's crazy how this performative male can do such things and stay in contact with big influencers. They must know this all, and turn a blind eye on him. You know, if I found this in like 5 days of research, his year-long friends and partners must know it too. So why were they being silent about this? This smells fishy. I don't know about you. Does it?
Do want to take accountability for some of the things that I said. The language I used in those calls was edgy and inappropriate, but even in a private call with adults, I should have chosen better words in certain moments, and I will take responsibility for that. However, just to clarify, accountability does not mean accepting lies, and it definitely does not mean allowing maliciously clipped audio to transform dark humor jokes or game-related comments into fabricated or behavior.
Nothing can live up to promise. Nothing can stop its narrative. To this day, as far as I managed to search through, Gwamgo did not address the serious allegations, the ones showed on the Yara video. There is no clear apology video, no community post explaining anything, and if it had, it was probably deleted. But again, do take what I say with lots of salt. This is my first video, so my research could have been wrongfully made, or I could have missed some things or misinterpreted things. You know, most of the stuff I found was either deleted or not stored at all, and due to I could not access his server for more possible information, I had to rely on my friends. So, thank you guys so much. Thank you, Serial Souls, for the screenshots, and thank you for the resume he just read to you guys. Most of my screenshots were taken from Twitter, where most of my arguments based structure come from, Google Docs, and his own YouTube page that I use as arguments for the misleading thumbnails and content forum. I try to stay as unbiased as I can, since it is foolish to take any sides on this messy shit. Every time one of them they are awful beings that didn't deserve a place on YouTube in the first place at all. But hey, I am just a teenage girl after all. What do I know about this? Let me know in the comments. Sorry to ask you this, but if you watched until here, please like, subscribe, and share so it can reach out to more people so they can be aware of this cluster of lies, panic, greed, misinformation this drama channel is spread around. My name is Animations. I hope you enjoyed. See you in the next video. Bye bye.